you think about airplanes, Boeing is the first thing to come to mind because it's the leading aircraft manufacturer in the world. But what most people don't know is the story of William Boeing and how the leadership he demonstrated still has a lasting legacy in the Boeing company to this day.
Boeing's dream to create a better plane all happened after he took his first flight in a Daredevil seaplane. The plane was so unsafe that Boeing didn't even have a seat. Instead, he was strapped onto one of the wings. Boeing was certain he could build a better plane, and ever since then, that has been the motto at the Boeing company: build a better plane.
And that vision of building something better lives today. And we at Boeing, all of the employees at Boeing, continually think about the need for things that are better, that make life better in different ways, and how to meet those needs with new products and services.
With the motto in place, Boeing and his business partner, Conrad Westervelt, set off to build a better plane. The first plane they created was called the B&W, which was a seaplane that was much safer than other planes. But not a lot of ordinary people were just buying planes back then, so very few B&Ws were sold. When the US entered World War II, the Boeing company finally got going and designed 3 new warplanes for America's Navy: the B-17, the B-29 Flying Fortress, and a cadet trainer.
The B-17 and B-29 bombers were a dominant force in the sky and were crucial for the United States to win the war. But after the war was won, the Boeing company had virtually no demands for airplanes and were forced to let many employees go. William Boeing had to do something. Boeing was going to transition into a furniture company because of his background in the lumber industry, but instead he realized that the people wanted a faster and easier way to travel long distances. He then came up with the idea of building a commercial passenger plane.
William Boeing dramatically boosted the economy in Washington as a result of his leadership in the aviation industry by manufacturing commercial passenger planes. His legacy is unmatched due to his profound impact on the local economy by creating thousands of jobs. He also changed the way we transport goods and passengers around the world today. William's leadership style was very hands-off, but when the company was being formed, he would always write and sign all important documents regarding the Boeing company. However, as the company grew, he became less involved with the letters that were sent to various places. For example, in this document, dated September 21st, 1917, William Boeing himself wrote and signed this letter addressed to a senator. 5 years later, on October 24th, 1922, a similar letter was written to one Senator Jones, but it was not written by Boeing. Instead, it was written by an employee.
William Boeing was a quiet leader. However, he took a bold step by swooping in low over a University of Washington football game, trying to demonstrate how at risk the people of the United States would be to a real bombing from enemy forces overseas.
William Boeing was also a perfectionist and would never have anything less than flawless be made in his factories. He said that he would rather have had his business be closed than to have a poor quality product be sold from his establishment. For him, reputation was everything, and he cared just as much about maintaining his good name as he did building quality planes. Boeing wasn't the type of leader that would give speeches to his men to inspire them to work harder. Instead, he would tell his employees what he expected of them and didn't accept anything less than perfect. He did the same thing for the industry, leading by example, just like when he came up with the first commercial passenger plane. That's where people argue he was never a leader, but they're wrong. Not all leaders have to give famous speeches and talk to their employees. Some of the best leaders in the world are the ones that have great visions and have the skills to make their dreams a reality.
And so he was the guy that sort of put things together, and he always had a vision of the future. And so he would hire people to make that vision possible.
Very quickly, his impact was made on World War II when he supplied the US military with the most threatening bombers in the world. Not only did he lead local employees, but he also led the aerial attack for the United States by being the main supplier of bomber planes for the US military. In fact, the nuclear bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, that was dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki on August 6, 1945, was carried by the Boeing B-29 named Enola Gay. 3 days later, another nuclear bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, also carried by a B-29. The destruction of both of these major cities forced Japan to surrender to the Allies. Without William Boeing mass-producing these legendary planes, the world might not be how it is today.
In addition to his impact on the war, his short-term impact locally was equally important. By employing local citizens, not only did his company grow, but more and more people viewed him as a leader. He became a public figure for the Seattle area and was well respected by his employees.
Even today, after both World Wars, the Boeing Company is known worldwide. One of the reasons that Boeing is still around today is because of how it evolved throughout the years. After World War II was won, there was no demand for bombers, so William Boeing adjusted, and the company was transformed from a warplane manufacturer to a well-known passenger plane distributor. Great leaders know when to improve and adjust.
While Boeing was evolving his company by creating the passenger plane, he was also leading the industry by changing the way we transport people and goods across the world today. At the time, Boeing didn't realize what a major impact he was having on the aircraft industry. In his mind, he was just listening to the people and doing as always, building a better plane.
William Boeing's effect on Washington State's economy was unmatched due to his leadership in creating the first passenger plane. His legacy is not challenged by any other pioneer in aviation because of how he changed the way we transport goods and passengers. His legacy has created a safe, practical, and efficient way to travel worldwide, as well as improving a local economy. From the day William Boeing started the Boeing Company in 1915, his legacy has been represented in the good reputation his name and company have maintained.
Boeing changed the way we transport goods and passengers by making commercial travel and commercial carriage of freight economically viable. At the very beginning of the jet age, the price of a round-trip ticket from North America to Europe was fairly expensive, and it was something that your average person really couldn't do. And yet, for the same ticket price today, you can fly round-trip to Europe, despite all the inflation that's occurred. And so, the airplanes, as they became bigger and safer and had greater range, gave us the ability to transport more and more people at less cost across the Atlantic and now across the Pacific and around the world.
Due to William Boeing mass-producing the commercial passenger plane, he eliminated the barrier between cultures and linked civilizations together. He made flying safer, more practical, and reduced expenses so that everyone would be able to fly.
To bridge cultures and bring people together, I think that's our legacy, and I believe that we will continue to evolve that legacy as time goes on.
If you live in the greater Seattle area, you most likely have friends or family members who work for the Boeing Company. Boeing had roughly 170,000 employees as of July 2014. For many years to come, the Boeing Company will be a great source of jobs for the Northwest and a great aircraft manufacturer used worldwide.
Even though William Boeing passed away in 1956, the Boeing Company continues to follow his motto of building a better plane. With every new accomplishment that the company achieves, it adds on to William Boeing's extraordinary legacy.